Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars video. So today we once again return to Andor Season 2 and I want to address a very popular question I've seen being asked about a dozen times since the most recent episodes. What's gonna happen to Bix? And are we gonna see her again? Bix didn't die, but she broke up with Cassian. She seems to think it's temporary because she says that once the rebellion has won and the fight is over, they can have the life they've always wanted. But given that we know Cassian never makes it back from Scarif, I think these episodes are the last time they ever saw each other, unless the final arc has another twist. The thing is, Bix still loves Cassian, but because he was about to give up everything to be with her, the fight, all the hard work he'd done, an upcoming promotion, Bix had to step away. And there were two characters that helped her make this decision: the Yavin Force Healer and Vel. Let's do a deep dive and then I'll share with you my theory of what's going to happen to Bix a year on in the last 3 episodes. So let's do this. Due to a bad blaster burn, in episode 7 Bix tells Cassian to go see the Rebel Force Healer. I've seen a few fans say this woman is faking her abilities, but I don't think so. She identified Cassian had an injury to his right shoulder without seeing the wound. Now this is where things get interesting because their meeting seems to have benefited her more than Cassian. She reveals she had a crisis of faith, saying it's been a very long time since she sensed the Force with such clarity. And because her powers tend to come and go, this was a very important moment for her. As she reveals to Bix, Cassian is indispensable to the rebellion. She even says he's a messenger and there's some place he needs to go. Sound familiar? This has led some fans to speculate, is Cassian in a really strange way a chosen one? Not in the same way of course as someone like Anakin. We're not talking about a Jedi prophecy, but someone who is about to do something so important that this Force user who maybe was a survivor of Order 66 has premonition and foresight to comprehend the scale of what Cassian is about to do, change the galaxy. How in a sense, Cassian is the reason the rebels have a victory over Yavin and the first Death Star, even though he doesn't live to see it. So if you go back to rewatch this episode, you realize the Force Healer woman was planting the seed in Bix's head that Cassian cannot abandon his calling. As much as he wants to run away with Bix and retire from all of this, give up the fight, Bix knows she's going to have to make the decision for him. And it's not just the Force Healer woman that convinces Bix. Draven and Dodona, who I hope we see in the next episode by the way, send Vel to convince Bix that Cassian needs more discipline. He's about to be promoted to captain and he needs to take this seriously. So given all of Cassian's talk of wanting to leave and run away with his girlfriend, Bix knows she has to ensure Cassian stays. And so, when he's back from the Gorman massacre, she writes him a letter and he wakes up to it. It was really heartbreaking. And I posted a joke about this on Twitter, but there is some truth to it. Episode 9 gave PTSD to anyone who's ever been broken up with over text. It's a horrible thing to wake up to, and Cassian just felt the brunt of it. So are we going to see Bix again? Let's talk about this. My prediction is the answer is yes. My theory is that after episode 12 there's going to be a post-credit scene, and it cuts to Bix living her new life. Maybe it's set after Scarif, and perhaps she finds out that Cassian has died. Maybe the rebellion builds a statue in honor of Cassian and Jyn Erso, and maybe we see Bix under it. I've seen some speculation that one of the reasons Bix freaked out is because she's pregnant. Could you imagine that twist? One of my favorite theories is that Bix finds Cassian's sister, and we see the two right at the end. I hope we've not seen the last of Bix. I don't know if you guys remember this, but after the first season there were rumors that Bix might get a spin-off. I don't know if there are plans for more Rogue One projects, but I doubt it. The best we can hope for is Bix showing up in the Mandoverse. She might not be as well written because Tony Gilroy is the best, but I hope we find out she survived. I personally think the most bittersweet thing about all of this is the Force Healer woman told Bix that she is where Cassian needs to be. Being his first true love and one of the last reminders of Ferrix, no matter where they were and where they were living, Mina Rao, Coruscant, Yavin, Bix felt like home, and so I think in the next 3 episodes a year on, Cassian is still going to be carrying that burden, wondering where Bix went. Maybe he goes searching for her the same way he looked for his sister. I really don't know what's in store for the final 3 episodes other than the scenes from the trailer we've not seen yet, and no one who had screeners has really spoiled anything, so we're going in blind, and that is so exciting. Now in a brand new interview, Adria Arjona was asked if we're going to see Bix again. For obvious reasons, she couldn't give an answer, but she's known about Bix's fate for a very long time. This was something Tony Gilroy planned long ago when he asked himself the question, where is Bix in Rogue One? So the question I have is after Scarif, Does Bix return to the rebellion? Was she there during the original trilogy? Are they going to retcon her to be part of the Battle of Hoth or Endor? I don't know which way they're going to go about it, but I predict a post-credit scene is the most likely option. And is she going to be one of the only question mark characters, and by that I mean characters who we don't see in Rogue One, to survive the events of this show? Because given the trend of one major death every arc, fans want to know who's next. The most popular answer for the final arc is Vel. After Cinta's death, it makes sense. But I don't want Tony Gilroy to keep breaking our hearts. I want her to live. Another major question going into episodes 10, 11 and 12 is what can we really expect, and what do we know? Well, I'm going to give you a big spoiler warning because I know not everyone watches all of the TV spots. Some people just don't want to know what's in store. Well, there are a couple of things we do know for certain. The backstories of Claire and Luthen is in episode 10, the next episode in flashbacks. That's according to Stellan Skarsgård. We also know we're going to see Saw Gerrera establish himself on Jeddah. He's investigating the Empire's use of kyber crystals for Project Stardust. But because we know so much of what he's up to during this time, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see much more of Saw. Another prediction I have is that the final episode will end with a deliberate tie-in to Rogue One. I think we're going to see all of the characters and where they're up to by the start of the movie. We already know we end with Cassian on the Rings of Catherine. Also, my dear friends, there is another moment from the trailer which is super interesting considering Cyril Khan's death. Dedra Meero finds Luthen's shop, and she's pointing a blaster at someone. Does she find Axis Cell? Does she finish what Cyril started? Does she go looking for Cassian, Luthen, and Clea? Obviously Cassian can't die, but what about the other two? Is this where Dedra confronts them? There are also plenty more scenes with Yavin, and there are a couple of big cameos. Radus, and according to a couple of rumours, Nawa Jabal, the senator from the planet of Oita. I also think there's a good chance we're going to see more Bail Organa. The recast actor Benjamin Bratt teases more scenes to come, so probably in the final arc. One final question I want to answer, my dear friends. Is there a chance we see Thrawn? During this time he would have been involved with the TIE Defender project and battling Phoenix Squadron. All the while Krennic is busy with Project Stardust.
The Emperor has assured me that he supports my project.
As teased in Star Wars Rebels and Thrawn Treason, the two characters do have some overlap. That's the reason many fans are wondering if we're going to see the Chiss in the last 3 episodes. There is the small possibility of a mention, but knowing Tony Gilroy, I don't think they're going to show him. I'd love to see a Gilroy-written Thrawn, but I don't think that's his approach. Throwing in such a massive distraction, one of the biggest characters around during this time, is the same reason we're probably not going to see Palpatine or Vader. Yes, they're around, and yes, they matter at this point in the timeline. However, there is a much stronger chance of seeing someone like Galen Erso. But Thrawn, yeah, I don't know guys, I don't see it happening. But what are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen to Bix? And what do you hope for the final 3 episodes? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, my dear friends. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.